Taiwan could end mandatory quarantines for international travelers as early as October 13th. That's according to the latest plan from the government, under which regulations will be eased in 2 stages.
In the first stage, starting September 29th, PCR testing on arrival will be scrapped, and the cap on weekly arriving passengers raised to 60,000. If the circumstances permit, the second stage would see the end of quarantine and the lifting of Taiwan's ban on international tour group travel.
In the first stage of easing border rules, Taiwan will raise its cap on weekly arrivals to 60,000 passengers starting September 29th. PCR tests will no longer be required upon arrival. Instead, travelers will be given rapid test kits. Taiwan is finally reopening to international travel with a gradual easing of border controls.
每周入境人数提高到6万人次。
The cap on weekly arrivals will be raised to 60,000 travelers. The 3+4 quarantine model will stay in place, but arrivals can stay 1 to a room instead of 1 to a residence. We're doing away with saliva PCR testing upon arrival. Visa-exempt entry will resume for all countries eligible. We're announcing these changes today, and they will be implemented 1 week from now, starting September 29th.
那这个部分先把它降阶到所谓的
So the regulations are being eased so that travelers can monitor their health at home with rapid tests. They can carry out tests and monitor their condition themselves.
1 week after the first easing of rules, the government will move to remove travel quarantines altogether if the COVID situation permits. The quarantine system could end as early as October 13th.
从10月中旬，我们就可以走向第2阶段的开放措施。
In mid-October, we can move on to the second stage of the reopening. That would increase the cap on weekly arrivals to 150,000 passengers. We'll remove quarantines and adopt a 0+7 model. Visa-exempt entry will be available to all eligible countries. The ban on international group travel will be lifted, and so on.
After quarantines are removed, arrivals will still have to monitor their health for 7 days. In contrast with the current 4-day self-health management period, they will be allowed to go out for meals and take public transportation. A union of airline pilots says it hopes the government will also lift restrictions that force aircrews to not leave their rooms while on assignment abroad.
我们有些机组员1年365天。
Out of 365 days in a year, aircrew spend almost 200 days under some sort of surveillance or restrictions abroad and in Taiwan. The government should loosen these rules for airline workers immediately and provide any relevant supporting measures.
The government is finally easing Taiwan's border restrictions, bringing Taiwan closer to normalcy.